Welcome to this session. Today we shall talk about the Indian English literature, especially its aspects and its singularity, which makes it different from all other literatures written by the writers of the world. Session 1. Nissim Ezekiel. Before discussing the nature and aspects of the poetry composed after 1940-50, we should look at the background of pre-Aeschylean poetry. As we know, India has enormous culture in itself. It has many states in it, many languages and dialects are being spoken by people residing here. They have their different cultures and different styles of life, different thinking about the life world, and livelihood. Before Nissim Ezekiel, poetry would either spiritual or inspiring or metaphysical or were composed under the impression of the English poets. Say, for example, Tarudatta. Who was much influenced by the Western creative ideology, and he composed poetry under their impressions. In spite of calling Indian English poetry the result of imitation of the Western way of composition, we can call it creative provided we name the towering personalities of our country called Rabindranath Tagore, Aurobindo, and so on. Rabindranath Tagore inclines himself to put the culture, Indian philosophy in the form of poetic composition. He was also a dramatist, but here our topic is related to poetry, so we will limit ourselves to the poetry of uh, Rabindranath Tagore and all others. Tagore's poetry has strain of religious and spiritual experiences. He described nature He talked about the relationship between nature and men, nature and the self of men, and relationship of the self to the super self, that is God or soul in Indian terminology. But after the period of Tagore and Aurobindo, as Aurobindo has depicted the inner world in his well known poem Savitri, which reflects the power of culture and folk, which changes the aesthetic effect. After Aurobindo Ghosh and Rabindranath Tagore, we have a new era of poetry, new period of poetry. This period may be called as the period after Indian independence. Post independence poetry in India, written in English, has various aspects reflecting the various mindsets of the intellectuals who tried their best to reflect their mind as well as philosophy of the nation they belong, means of India. This is what the soul or spirit of Indian English writing. When we try to understand Indian English writing, we must understand about a literature which affects the culture, folk, specific anguish, political, social, and life world of Indian people. Naseem Ezekiel represented in a very organized manner, in a very effective manner in his poetry. He embeds his poetry with Indian sensibility. Even he tries to follow the way, the tone on which an Indian speaks English. So he tries to affect the mind of a reader by incorporating Indian sensibility in poetry. Before discussing the nature and aspects of his poetry, let us know about who he was. Ezekiel was born on 14 December 1924 in Bombay. His father was a professor. He was a graduate from Wilson College, Mumbai. He was studious, he had inclination to learn philosophic and folklore of India. And it was this sensibility which enforces him to write poetry in English with in Indian tone. He does not forget in any case that he is born and brought up in India. He doesn't want to let away himself from the impression of Indian sports, Indian culture, Indian thinking about relationship of a father to with the son, mother with the son, etc. There are some certain aspects of his poetry which can be encountered very differently when we read his poems. His poems are always having a kind of religious bent. He had a sensibility made of ethics and morality. He believed in the discipline. He believed in the relationship. He believed that relationship can maintain the sensibility of human being. He has written many poems describing village, people of the village where he had been living once. Many poems on his mother and other relatives. When we envisage Nissim Iskil as a poet, we also find description of metro life in his poem. He discloses how metro life is unsuitable for those who are having true sensibility toward life, who has the sense of loyalty to the relationship. He talks about human sexuality. He thinks that human's identity is under some problematic. When he or anyone cuts up the society, the family, members of the family, he feels alienation and he doesn't get peace anywhere. I would like to illustrate these aspects by recalling some of his poems which witness these aspects as ingredients of his poetry. Enterprise, for example, consists of 30 verse lines, depicts modern realism of life. We may encounter some experiences of Eleatic wasteland in this poem. The theme of this poem is, if one tries to observe, it is related to man's modern sensibility, which is nothing but a life under alienating effect. The next poem which I would like to put before you as illustration is entitled Poet Love Birdwatcher. 20 verse lines are there, but it reflects the another aspect of Nassim Iskeel. In this poem, he talks about poetic creativity. He tries to find out affinity between love and poem, the power of love and the power of poem. They have power to uplift man. So he tries to define how love affects life and how love and poem brings a unique or miraculous effect in the life of common man. There is a line, the deaf can hear, the blind recovered sight. This is what the effect of love, and in the same manner a poem can function. It is a miracle when somebody believes in the power of poet, in the power of love, in the power of what a man is living under the sun. The man, the deaf can hear, the blind recovered sight when he feels love, when he feels poem. Next poem entitled Background Casuality. Rather longer poem, consisted of 75 verse lines. Refers a different aspect of Iskeel. It reflects the social sensibility of the poet. It reflects how a poet is connected somehow or has some empathetic relationship with the people living in the society. He delineates that poverty is one of the inclining subjects to the poet, one of the attracting subjects of the poet. He tries to prove it that poet doesn't live in the world, in his world. He is not idle as Plato had ever believed and explained in his Republic. He, being in a certain state of mind, being in a particular place, attends the incidents taking place outside the place or the space or time where a poet lives or resides. Thus, in this poem, he talks about the background of the poet which decides the subject of poet. And that subject can never be separated from the experience of a man who feels or experiences the results of poverty. Thus, he connects the relationship of the poet to the poverty to the country, to the state and philosophy. The next poet, see, we don't have time to invest in engendering the theories contained in the poems of Indian poet, because we have to complete the block in a very limited time. That's why I am trying my best to rush toward describing aspects of poets by illustrating the points I am going to show you or demonstrate. Next poet who maintains Indian sensibility with some unique or shocking nature is Kamala Das. She is well known as a confessional poet. But she is not confessional in that way as Wordsworth, Shelley, Keats, Wollstonecraft would be. Kamala Das, I think, is one of the most radical poet of India of this century. She lives with an imagination which cannot be caught in some certain lunatic or limited manner. She is a woman to experience everything in the given life. And for her, the experience only makes a man poet. And that experience should be explained in a manner can tell everything clearly about you. She doesn't want to be untrue to the reader. She wants to uncover herself or her sensibility, her understanding toward life before the reader. Thus, she was a very much confessional poet, and this observation, I think, is right. Some critics also read her as feminist poet. I could have used poetess also, but I don't like because poet and poetess, these two terms are referring to two different sexes, two different genders, which is debated along. So I don't want to use poetess here before the name of Kamala Das. She had also been observed as feminist poet. Why? Because she explained those experiences which she had ever encountered in her childhood, in her adolescent period, in her adult period, and onward. Introduction is the best example. I will illustrate by giving you some important lines borrowing from introduction here, one of the best poems. That poem reflects how she is, appeared as anti-patriarchal setup of the society. Not only in introduction, there are many poems, and since we are not having time, we have limited time, we cannot illustrate by taking many examples from her poems. Those poems also reflect some feminist interest. Though she denied ever, she didn't like, she did never like to be called a feminist. She liked if somebody called her a true poet, explaining that which she had in her heart and mind, or experience which made her sensibility. Her poetry can also be described as expression in shocking frankness, that she, in this way, she is much comparable to Ismat Chugtai and uh, the poet who wrote a short story Parda. She never think about the thought which she had never thought. So she had very shocking and frankness nature in herself. She had also explained sexual frustration and desire. She depicted the how arranged manner got failure, and she always talks about love relationship, a failure love relationship, a disappointed love relationship in his poetry, in her poetry. And the relationship can only be destroyed when people under in relationship makes their relationship on the futility of lust. So she had also she had been also explaining what futility of lust can give. And after all, a confessional poet always expresses loneliness. So this theme is also identical to the poetry of Kamala Das. I said to you that I would like to illustrate some by giving you some lines taking from introduction her poem, which of course describes the rebellious thought of a girl against patriarchy. And one more poem is there, My Grandfather's House, which tells or narrates or expresses Kamala Das's reminiscences collected from her childhood memories. The Sunshine Cat is also one of the best poems of Kamala Das, which expresses the failure relationship out of egocentric men who came in her life. There are some important lines which I wanted to put before you. Is about introduction. I am Indian, Kamala Das says, I quote, I am Indian, very brown, born in Malabar. I speak 3 languages, write in 2, dream in 1. Don't write in English, they said. They refers to people who were orthodox. So they said, English is not your mother tongue. Why not leave me alone? Critics, friends, visiting cousins, every one of you. Why not let me speak in any language I like? The language I speak becomes mine, its distortions, its queerness, all mine, mine alone. It is half English, half Indian, funny perhaps, but it is honest. It is inhuman, as I am human. Don't you see? It voices my joys, my longings, my hopes, and it is useful to me as cawing is to crows and roaring to the lions. It is human speech, the speech of the mind that is here and not there, a mind that sees and hears and is aware. So this borrowed line, these lines express the sensibility of Kamala Das, how she was feeling in herself independent expositor as poet. A.K. Ramanujan, one of the most experimental poet. He was a scholar. translator, linguist, folklorist. There are some important poems which expresses how he was much nostalgic. He never left his Indian sensibility. He could not leave those aspects of which he was or with which he was brought up. He always incorporates some Indian stories or some Indian folk background to his poems. There are some poems which reflect the aspects of this poet. Looking for a cousin on a swing. It reflects nostalgia and problem of identity. Self-portrait is also a poem. It reflects self-alienation, split, broken, unrealized self. A river is next poem. It is about nature's destructive force to human life and which represents after flood life, the flood life. It describes the river Vaikai, which brought death for thousands of people. And the poet expresses his grief. Arun Kolatkar is again one of the major poets of 21st century who I don't have words to explain his experimental tools he used at the time of composing his poem. He was a bit, maybe that he was influenced by Buddhist philosophy. He always wrote on the quest for spiritual truth. He was influenced by surreal philosophy. He explains his sensibility in different manner, but expressible. The Bus is a poem which expresses the surreal existence of men, and the place where he had been visiting once. A low temple is there, and Chaitanya is there. All these poems are related to stories and folks related to Jejuri and devotion to goddess and gods and his followers. Jayant Mahapatra has distinct personality in imagist, like the aesthetic value of literature. He wrote Down at Puri, Indian summer poems, Hunger, and all these poems are related to Indian spots. And he wanted to let the people aware with the situation and condition of people living in the nation. He appreciated the Lord Jagannath in Down at Puri. He expresses the panorama of Puri in that poem. He never disliked to put the Indianness in his poems through some certain images. R. Parsastri, a new dimension he had. He was a post-colonial writer. He expresses diaspora experience, existential self, loss of belonging, sojourn abroad. He lived outside. But he was not aware of that loss which he felt by staying abroad. He wrote on exile experience, his rough passages, which is having 3 sections: exile, trial, and homecoming. One of the core verse line or central verse line is that he is talking about himself. He has spent his youth roaring after English gods. Language is a tree, loses color under another sky. These lines are expressing how the poet was feeling isolation under the sun of others. The last section of this poem collection Homecoming portrays the poet's native state, Tamil Nadu. How does he come? How did he feel? So it carries out the theme of stagnation and decay. For him, language does matter, culture does matter, habit does matter, dress does matter. All these are maintaining the Indian sensibility or Indian thinking. It affects our philosophy. He believes it. And this philosophy, the philosophy of Indianness, he always incorporates it in his poems. Much conscious poet, socially conscious poet, K.K.N. Daruwala, who writes on burning issues like riot, violence, and self-identity. Rumination, for example, expresses that violence causes social imbalance. Routine is there. This is also one of the poems. His poems extends the same theme. Crossing of the river, in which he tries to enforce youth or public of this nation to cross or to go beyond the problems by his or their own effort in order to build a new world, in order to create a new nation.